All right. This is that moment of truth where I got to wait for everything to wake up. Let's see. YouTube, you going to wake up? Twitter's already awake. Rockfin and YouTube, they're the slowest. They're always the slowest. And you know me, I got to see it. I got to see it or I don't believe it. YouTube's up. What's up, YouTube? You are awake. And Rockfin, how about you? You're awake. You're awake. You guys know me. I got to wait and see it. There is no on-site producer. I'm a one-man shop, so you know the drill. And some folks are coming in here. What's up, everybody? Good afternoon to all my East Coasters. Good morning to all my West Coasters. If you're in an evening time zone, good evening. I mean, you know, I think in London, it's evening right now. And over there. So good evening. And if you're in the future, solve climate change for the rest of us. Australia, New Zealand, you had an extra half day of science. Please figure out climate change. Let the rest of us know what we need to do. We'll get on it. We'll do our best. And thanks for being here, by the way. I know it's really early where you're at. And to everyone listening to the podcast later, hope everything is going well. Hope you're enjoying your jog or whatever it is you're doing. Shout out to the people who make this show possible, our friends over at Indie Left. Indie Left is the place to discover all the content creators and streamers you know and love in one convenient place. They curate a list of all the news that's going on. They update it twice a day, a one-stop shop for you to find out everything they got going on and to subscribe to their Discord community. Check them out at independentleft.media. All right, joining me today, this is her second time on the show. I'm so excited she was willing to come back. She is an author. She is an activist, and she is author of the book Left Out. Please welcome back to the show, Tara Reade. Tara, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Yeah. So do I count as a regular now? Because it's the second time.
You're a regular now. Welcome back. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So I gotta, due to everything that's going on, I had to ask you this. When you're seeing what's happening right now with Afghanistan and you're seeing the way the media is responding to Joe Biden, where, you know, I mean, some have criticized him, but, you know, others are kind of just saying, oh, he took so much accountability and this and that and how presidential and blah, 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 blah. How is it for you, like, to kind of have to digest that based on, how things were dealt with your situation? Like just emotionally, where have you been the past few days? I guess is like the short, you know, question.
I really am at the point where I just expect the media to grovel because that seems to be what their position is with Joe Biden. But it's hard to watch, like.
Oh, did we just lose you? Tara, are you with us? We might have just lost Tara, folks. Well, that's not good.
You know,
she, you're back.
How they were giving of how, you know, and you.
We lost you for a little bit. And yeah, we lost you.
You lost me. Okay, I'll start again. I just was saying it was horrifying to see the scenes of people falling off the planes and then to see a speech where he's blaming the Afghanis, you know, when we went in and we, you know, disrupted their country and did all the things we did. And then people, you know, fell to their death and there was no empathy. So that empathy president myth, I just don't know why that continues. He's not empathetic at all. And he's just politically doing what's right for Joe Biden.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into some of the other things as of recent. You've been pretty outspoken about what's been going on. This is something you tweeted out recently. Time's Up has been in the news a lot lately. Here's a thread on our reporting. This is from Emily Sugarman on the Gender Equity Org, which one former staffer describes to me as patriarchy with a dress on. So what's going on there?
Well, Time's Up is being exposed for doing what they did to survivors. I mean, and I think because it's a little convoluted to the general public, it gets lost a little, but it's pretty simple if you break it down. Tina Chen, who was one of the founders, and Anita Dunn, Hillary Rosen, they're all political operatives, and they all supported elite Democrats. They didn't just suppress.
Yeah, Tara, we lost you again.
Okay.
Yeah,
I really
we've
enjoyed Emily. You have now?
we have you now. We have you now, but it's
Okay.
a little shaky of a connection.
Okay. How's this? A little bit better?
You're coming in now. Yeah, you're coming in now.
Okay, good. So Emily Sugarman wrote a great article, and she called out a lot of the problems with Time's Up, including the fact that they, donated to Joe Biden's campaign. I mean, the founder of Time's Up, who said they didn't want to be political and didn't want to do my thing, donated to Joe Biden's campaign. Meanwhile, Anita Dunn collected for her company, SKD, the public relations company, $2.2 million for his campaign and worked for him. And the other interesting thing was there was a private meeting early on between Cuomo, Biden at the White House, and there was a rumor that Anita Dunn was in the room. And I want to know if that's true. Did that meeting happen? And did Joe Biden's White House have something to do with Cuomo's cover-up as well? That was early on in the presidency, and someone had written an article about the private meeting. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out. But Time's Up, basically, in my opinion, was literally set up to protect these powerful predators.
So let's get into Cuomo then. First of all, and I know you've written about this, so please, feel free to summarize, a lot of your thoughts on the issue, and also just, how did you feel when he resigned? Did we lose you again? I think we might have. I think we might have lost you again. Tara, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
I can hear you.
we lost you. We lost you for a
So,
little while. I don't know if you were answering and we just lost you again. All right. We did a tech check, folks, and things were coming in, but they're not coming in now. Um yeah. We might need to reschedule this one. Here, let me do this, see if this helps. Let me just kind of close out of some stuff. So Tara, we lost you completely. You're totally frozen, just so you know. And all right, so we lost Tara. We'll see if she can try to get back in, folks. Otherwise, we may need to just kind of reschedule this one. Stuff happens, it's I'm really sorry, but yeah, stuff happens. um yeah. Gosh, it was just as soon as she started to answer, like it'd be like I'd ask a question and she'd be like, "Well," and then it froze like right there, like something out of a movie. Like it wasn't like randomly she would freeze or in the middle of an answer she would freeze. It'd be like as soon as she started talking, she'd be like, "Well, Ron, freeze. Um, I'm sorry about this, y'all. But we might have to cut the episode short today, and I'm sure I'm hoping Tara understands, and I'm sure she does, and we'll get this rescheduled. But yeah, we'll see if she can come back in, and if we can't resolve this soon, we'll just go ahead and reschedule. Tara, are you there? You just froze again. It's literally as soon as I ask a question. Like as soon as I say something, I can hear you now.
Okay.
As soon as I say something and you start to answer, that's when you freeze. It's almost like a
Oh,
movie. Like it's just like the most random
yeah.
of timing. I feel like maybe if I like type out my questions and you just answer them,
That's okay. Well,
because
it
now
looks
you're
like
hearing
we
me just
have,
fine.
yeah. So let's try this, and if not, we'll reschedule. How about that?
Yeah, let's give it one more go. If we have issues again, we'll
Okay.
reschedule. And I appreciate your patience and understanding. And folks, I
No worries.
appreciate your patience and understanding as well. Sometimes these things happen. But
Yep.
so Cuomo, I didn't get any of the answer. So how did you feel? I mean, I'm curious. Like, how did you feel when he resigned? And what's your take just on the whole situation?
Well, I think Cuomo resigning is the first step, but they need to impeach him. They need a further investigation, and then now we need to look at Joe Biden and his behavior and investigate him. And there's more than just my case in regards to Joe Biden. So, if you're using the same standards, then both of them need to be held accountable. And I think that's the direction we need to move collectively, in order to end rape culture and change the way we look at these issues.
So how many times? Because I know, like, you've sent me a few. I know the Washington Post has done it. But as of recent, with Cuomo coming to the surface, there have been these occasional asides in the press where they go, well, then, of course, there was Tara Reade, who, that was incredible, even though your story has not been disproven at all. And then they point to the same handful of articles that are all just personal attacks on you. They don't disprove your story at all. They don't disprove anything. They're just personal attacks on you as a person. Um, so
Right. That's
how frequent that has that happened as of recent, would you say?
Oh, every 3 weeks, like clockwork, either the New York Times or the Washington Post takes a little swipe at me, usually in an opinion column. But they usually like try to remind the public, like, remember Tara Reade? She's not credible. Like trying to remind us, like, we're not supposed to like Tara Reade. Like, okay, all these Cuomo things are coming up, but don't pay attention to Tara Reade. And I see what they're doing. It's pretty transparent, and it's just driving a narrative. But remember that narrative was paid for. It was paid for, with a public relations firm with SKD. And so that's what Joe Biden paid for. He paid for an image, and he paid for suppression of negative, and also to just survivors, and discovering with Cuomo. And I think the letter, that was discovered of them trying to discredit and smear Lindsey Boylan, the Times Up colluded with Cuomo's staff, was physical evidence of the tactics that elite Democrats are using to silence these stories.
Can you go into details about that letter for anyone who's not familiar?
Well, basically, they were trying to. Yeah, they were basically. In fact, Katie Halper did a great job. She actually read it out loud with one of the, reporters from Jacobian, and they read it out loud. It was like an apology, but not an apology that Tina wrote. And then they went into the letter that actually Tina helped Cuomo's staff write. And it was basically, a terrible piece about Lindsey Boylan. It was just basically discrediting her. And, Times Up was advising on the letter, and even and and like had them take out one sentence, but was colluding, basically allowing this to go forward. And, and a human rights, organization that was also involved, leaked her personnel file illegally, to the media. And it was a very, uh, terrible and very pointed way to try that Cuomo was trying to use his power and his resources to go after, the speakers. And, Tina has, made a comment, the founder of Time's Up made a comment that, you know, that they felt like they misstepped or there was like problems. But, they didn't. They knew exactly what they were doing. They didn't just suppress the stories, they went after us. So they knew exactly that they were basically trading us for power, access to power.
Yeah, and why do you think the Cuomo thing stuck though? Or not stuck, right? I mean that's a bad way to put it. But like, why do you think he actually had to step down? Because I thought for the longest time he is going to wait this thing out. He's just going to wait this thing out.
Right.
But then he ended up
Mhm.
having to step down, probably because, I mean, a lot of people speculate like he was likely going to be impeached. So why, from your perspective, did he actually have some consequences? We'll see how much, but why did he have some consequences and Biden didn't?
Well, what I don't understand is why he didn't get any consequences or any investigation into the nursing home. Like thousands of people died, and his staff admitted that they played with the numbers, and the DOJ dropped the case. So that mystifies me. But I think that coupled with the fact that he was very popular at one point, as you know, and got an Emmy, and everyone was right around him, and celebrities were effusive about what a great leader he was. And then
Yeah.
until he was, considered that. And he wanted to replace Biden in 2020. And I think that was not forgotten. And I think that made Biden angry. And so I think there was a little bit of politics in it. And I don't want to give Cuomo credit, but let's face it. Since when do Democrats care about Me Too? They don't. They use it when it's politically, effective for them. But basically, when they ignore most of the sexual assault and sexual harassment claims as a whole. In Cuomo's case, though, they were at a point where they wanted him gone. And I think that they pressured and used it. So finally, and I think that coupled with the missteps by Time's Up, that was so blatant and so ugly. And you had Ronan Farrow that did his meticulous reporting, that really broke it down, the way Cuomo abused his power. And within 14 hours after Ronan Farrow's article came out, Cuomo stepped down.
I had not considered that angle before, and that's a really interesting point that you just made. That I just want to reiterate and make sure I'm getting it here. So Cuomo was kind of eyeing the idea to potentially replace Biden in 2020 when people were wondering, well, what's going to happen with Biden? And now, so Biden kind of came out and he was just like, oh, Cuomo should resign. And so you're kind of saying like this was sort of Biden's payback.
Yeah, I think that there's a complicated relationship there because I know they're buddies and have been for a long, long time. I mean, he also said Cuomo did a hell of a job as a governor, and then famously got, the CNN reporter came up and said, "What about the 11 women that came forward about sexual harassment?" And then Joe Biden said, "I was talking about infrastructure." And then and then someone on the internet posted a picture of the subway being flooded and said, "Yes, what about the infrastructure?" But anyway, back to that. I just think that it was timing. I think the nursing home scandal wasn't going anywhere, and it should have because thousands of people died. I think the culmination of just how much abuse of power he used regarding the sexual harassment to try to keep that quelled. And then the fact he was trying to replace Biden and he was considered popular. So in 2024, they didn't want him there. So I predicted basically last fall that he would be thrown under a New York bus, and he did get thrown under the bus. But deservedly so.
No, totally. No, absolutely. And yeah, I get what you're saying. 100%. When you say these things like, oh, it's complicated because they're buddies, my kind of like, my sort of like knee jerk reaction to that, and I'm sure you would feel a similar way, is yeah, but are these types of people like Joe Biden, people like Andrew Cuomo, because I've had peeks under the hood of the political machine before, and you've had peeks that, go miles beyond mine. And I mean, the question I always have, I'm like, are these types of people even capable of having a friend? Is that something? Because I mean, I've like some of the stuff I have witnessed.
Well,
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say they're frenemies maybe, and I think that in Biden's case, Cuomo knows a lot about Biden that he doesn't want public, right?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, it's just,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, the peaks under the hood I've had, which again, I mean, pales in comparison to the ones you had, but even the ones I've had, I've just been, I mean, all so often it's like these are people who I get the impression they care about nothing but getting ahead. They care about nothing but playing this
Right.
insanely corrupt game. Being a blank suit is rewarded and smiled upon. Actually having principles,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to weed you out of there. 90 some percent of the time, they're going to weed you out of there, or they're going to do everything they can to make sure you don't have any power. And it's just such a corrupt, like it's just I'm in show business. Show business is a charity in comparison to politics. Show business on its worst day has more integrity than the political arena on its worst day. And then you have people like Adam Schiff
Right.
who are trying to do both, and it's like, oh my god. And then you have this cross pollination where
Mm-hmm.
you have these Hollywood agencies signing these politics. Well, they're in office. They're signing people like Joe Biden and like Hillary Clinton. And look, it's one thing if you're a freaking like city council member who does stand up on the side or something like that. That's one thing. But when you're among the most powerful people in the world and you're signed to a Hollywood agency and you're going on speaking tours while you're still in office, it's like this is not a government. This is a circus. This is, I mean, calling this a government is
It is.
inaccurate at this point. It's a corporate coup.
It is. It is. It's just multinational corporations. These are puppets. Their interests are really what's behind that curtain. Like if you pull the curtain, that's what's there, right? So all of it is smoke and mirrors. And
Hmm.
I think we're
I think we might have lost you again. Yeah, we lost you again. And this is why we need frickin' municipal broadband, everybody. Here, let me. I'm sure Tara. Okay, so case in point, this is why we need frickin' municipal broadband. Speaking of which, we don't have a government that governs, and this is why we don't have municipal broadband all across the country. If we did, we wouldn't be having these issues right now, which is true,
Ellen said
actually.
it best when she
Oh, you're
talked about
back.
CA.
We lost you for a while. You came back briefly, and we just lost you again. Tara, I don't know if you can hear me, but I think at this point we're just gonna need to reschedule. Um, yeah, we've lost you a couple times now. I Can you hear me? And your picture is frozen too. Are you there? Okay. Tara, if you can hear me, let's just go ahead and reschedule. I think I think the tech gods are really not smiling upon us today, and I'm very sorry. And I hope you understand. I'm sure you do. But I appreciate you understanding, and let's make up for this very soon. Let's get another interview on the books. If that's okay. Here, let me try to pull you back in and see if we could just actually send off. Tara, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, we're having
Okay.
I guess somewhere they're not liking us to talk about this on the Ethernet, right? We're
This is
having a lot
why
of luck.
this is why municipal broadband is one of my flagship issues right here, where we're seeing it in real time. This is why it's so important. This is why it's so important. But yeah,
Okay.
let's go ahead and go out on top here, and while we
Okay.
have a connection with each other, let's reschedule this soon
Yes.
because yeah, I have a lot of stuff I wanted to talk to you about, but
Okay.
it's kind of hard because like your answer will get
You keep
delayed and I
going in and
won't hear
out.
it all. And yeah,
Yeah.
see, we're each like it's like we're trying to have a conversation underwater or something, and it's
Exactly.
kind of difficult. So,
Yeah, exactly.
which ironically enough, the last time we spoke on the phone, I was by the water and everything worked out just fine. It
I
was
know. We could hear
perfectly fine.
perfectly. There you have it.
I know, right?
Let's reschedule it, and this story's not going anywhere. So it's moving along, but not really going anywhere. So
Yeah, no,
and
totally. And more is gonna unfold by the time we talk again. I mean, I was just curious
yeah,
about, because more is gonna fold with the Afghanistan connection too,
yes,
which is it's really interesting looking at the media cycle. What did they do to him here compared to how they treated him with the Tara Reade stuff, where they were completely coddling him, as
oh yeah.
opposed to some people coddle him, but not everybody.
No,
Like,
I think it's starting to break. I think that it's starting to break through, like his hold on the media. So I think it's shifting, changing, and I think the more and more promises he breaks, the more and more campaign promises that are not coming through, and the more I think the handling right now of COVID, I think his handling of Afghanistan, the way he talked about Cuomo instead of holding him accountable, all of these things are coming home to roost and more. So
okay,
it's it
cool.
it's going to change, yeah. So
Okay, let's get another interview on the books very soon when the
we
tech gods are
will.
smiling upon us, and we will do an extensive dive into all this. And I can't wait for it to happen. And in the meantime,
Thank
be
you.
well. All
You
right,
too.
thank you,
Take care.
Tara. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Peace. All right, so bummer, but we'll make up for it soon. I'm sorry, folks. Sometimes this happens. It's happened before on Get Your News On with Ron. It will happen in the future on Get Your News On with Ron. But yeah, it was just it was just really hard to try to talk to each other because I kept coming in and out for her. She kept coming in and out for me. So it was like conducting an interview underwater. Like, and that's a good way to put it, I think, too. It's like conducting an interview underwater. Where it's like, well, wait, what did you say? I don't know. What did you say? What did you say? I don't know. What did you say? What did you say? I don't. What did we? Yeah. So we'll do this again under better circumstances, and yeah, we'll make up for this. And I appreciate everyone's patience and understanding in the meantime, and I appreciate your understanding and support. Here's some. I'll go through the chats before we sign off today because I appreciate y'all keeping me in mind and supporting this show, especially when we're having difficulties. That's when it means the most. When we're going through our lumps and you show your love and support, it means a lot. Richard, what's up? Richard from the UK. I hope all is well, Richard. Hi, Ron. Rich and Shell from the UK. What's up? Shout out to the UK. I hope to see you in 2023. I'm hoping to tour the UK in 2023. I'm going to keep saying it because I feel like if I keep saying it, it's going to have to come true. You say Cuomo's dick. Overexposure made the award winner step down. Cheers for staying true, buddy. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that very much. And thank you for the Rockford tip. Denny McCarthy, thank you for the Rockford tip. Grab a cold straw when you can. These days, I've been a Cerveza guy. That's my beer of choice. But thank you for that, Denny McCarthy. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Denny. And thank you, Richard, for helping to keep this show on the air. And over on the YouTube, thank you, Venetia. And thank you, Red Pill. Thank you, Venetia, for the super chat contribution and the cartoon pill pair. Blah. I can't even talk today. Everything's just, man. You get some bad tech issues, and everything's just going haywire. First, you get a bad connection, then you just forget how to talk. Thank you for the cartoon pair. I love pears. You know it. Red Pill, what's up? How you doing, Red Pill? I love Lucy, the kitty. She just meowed, actually. I don't know if you guys could hear her, but she just meowed. She's kind of hanging out. Ricky Ricardo, Lucy's been acting strange lately. Fred Mertz, strange. How can you tell? Lucy, stop never ending wars. Lucy is anti-war. Absolutely. She is an anti-war cat, about as anti-war as you can get. Very much an anti-war cat. Thank you very much, Richard and Denny McCartney. And thank you very much, Venetia and Red Pill, for the super chat contributions. I appreciate the Rockfin tips and the super chat contribution. You help keep the show on the air. Can you hear Lucy now? You can probably hear her now. Here, let me pull her up before we sign off here. Come here, Lucy. Oh, yeah. 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 She says hi. She's like, there were tech issues today. It makes me sad. I was looking forward to hearing from Tara. I know, I was too. We got a little bit in. I mean, we got a little bit in, but not, you know, we didn't get a lot in. I'll leave this up. I'll leave this up because she did say, I mean, we did get some conversation in, not a lot, but we did get a little bit. Um, so I will leave this up, but I probably won't, I won't post this as a podcast. I don't think it was just too, just too much starting and stopping. So yeah, there won't be an audio podcast today, but we will still I will still leave this stream up because she was able to say some stuff. We were able to get a little bit of conversation in. So and I appreciate everybody's patience and understanding, and it's a big bummer. And in the meantime, tour dates, I got them. RonPlacone.com. Don't wait. Get your tickets now. San Francisco, Sacramento, Los Angeles. Tucson, Tempe, Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Philly, New York City, Washington, D.C., Asheville, North Carolina, Jacksonville, Gainesville, Orlando, Miami, Tampa, Nashville, Louisville, Indianapolis, Chicago, Minneapolis, Madison, RonPlacone.com for all those tickets. And that's starting in the fall. Starting soon, hopefully. Assuming, I mean, I guess we don't know what the world's going to bring. But hopefully it'll be safe. We'll be out there. RonPlacone.com for all those tickets. And of course, my movie trailer is still out there. It is still out there, folks. You can check it out. The movie is called Left at Wall. And I'll go ahead and drop the link for the trailer again. Please check out the full trailer. You can check it out on this YouTube channel. You can check it out on the GoFundMe. And if you want to contribute to the GoFundMe, that's great. And I appreciate it so much. And I can't wait to make this movie for you. But even if you can't, even if you're like, times are tough, I can't contribute to the GoFundMe, that's totally cool. Just watch the trailer anyway. I want you to see the trailer. So watch it on the GoFundMe, watch it on YouTube. You can check it out on my Twitter. It's my pinned tweet. It's not the full trailer because Twitter videos can only be 2.5 minutes. So you can get the link to the full tweet, or excuse me, the full trailer on my Twitter. So Twitter, YouTube, GoFundMe. You just go to GoFundMe, type in Left at Wall, or just go to the link that I left below. Check out the movie trailer. Even if you're not able to contribute, check it out anyway. I want you to see it. I'm excited to make this film. This is just the trailer. This is not the actual movie. We're using the trailer to try to get funding for the movie itself, and then we're going to shoot the actual movie. So it's like a demo tape, if you will. But please do check it out. It's a movie that calls out Wall Street via an explainer film based on the GameStop incident. It's based on that. It's not a documentary about that. It's a fictional story. It's not a real story. I already have to point that out extensively because people have already been like, well, actually, the Reddit, they weren't like, and I'm like, it's a fictional story. It's loosely based on something that happened in real life, and it explains how something like that can happen, but it's a fictional story around it. It's loosely based on something. That means it's fiction, not a documentary. Fiction, not a documentary. Anyway, just making that clear. Bubblegum Douche, awesome screen name. Or Rockfin name, whatever it is. Bubblegum Douche, you say, I love Lucy. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for loving Lucy. I appreciate that very much. And Lou Sass, thank you very much for the Super Chat contribution. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Venetia. Thank you, Red Pill. Thank you, Lou Sass. And over on the Rockfin, thank you, Denny. Thank you, Bubblegum. Thank you, Richard. Thank you guys so much. I'm sorry about the episode today. I'm sorry it's a little short today because of the tech issues that we had. But I appreciate you understanding. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate that we were able to talk to Tara a little bit. We got some stuff in. We didn't get a lot in, and we had a lot of issues with it, but we were able to get some stuff in. So I hope you enjoyed what we were able to get to. We will have Tara back. We will make up for this. And in the meantime, you know the drill. Lucy, she says meow, and I say peace. Peace.